Hi there. Welcome to the 30. This is Patrick once again on another week. And this is an exciting week. I have invited some of my friends. And today we are going to be talking about and giving you a sneak peek. You may say, what is a sneak peek? Well, the sneak peek is into the man-to-man conferences coming on August 8th. So I want to thank you for joining me on this day. What a wonderful day it is. Another day that we can just come together and talk about some topics. So the topic is man-to-man, the Candid Conversation Conference. So do me a favor, as I normally ask you, is to go ahead and share this broadcast with someone that you know, set up a watch party with your friends. As I talk with these gentlemen, if you have any questions whatsoever, any comments, feel free to drop them in the comments line. I'm going to be putting up the registration link shortly, but I don't want to take any time. I want to bring these men in. They're all speakers. We have with me 4 speakers and one our resident MC who's hiding. But I'm going to bring our first one up is Pastor Dave Coleman, Dave Young, Mark Rennie, and I'm also going to bring Carl Binger in. I don't think Kevin his video is in and out. So let's see who else we have. He's there. Let's bring Kevin into the stream. Hi, guys.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Today we're going to be talking about man-to-man. All right. So I'm going to just ask you some questions. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself first and foremost, and then talk about what you will be presenting or speaking on for man-to-man, the Candid Conversation Conference. Okay. Those of you that don't know, the man-to-man, the Candid Conversation Conference is virtual this year, and it takes place on Saturday, August 8th. Registration is available. You can I'll put that up shortly, but make sure that you register because this is a major conference. It was regional or local, and because of COVID-19, now it is an international conference. So you want to make sure that you register. So let's start with Pastor Dave.
Good evening. Again, my name is Dave Coleman II. Professionally, my background is engineering, and I've been a program and process manager for Xerox and also Paychex for the past 30 years. Vocationally, I'm an associate pastor at New Life Fellowship Church. And I have the privilege and pleasure of holding a session for man-to-man regarding the importance of a mentoring relationship.
Great. Thank you so much. Next, I'm going to bring up Dave Young.
Hey, my name is Dave Young. I'm a CPA here in Rochester. Just finished up officially the longest tax season on record yesterday. And I'm looking forward to my topic, which is you and your finances. I'm going to be focusing on financial literacy, how to read financial statements, how to build a dashboard, in key performance indicators. So how to look at these things, not only tell where have you been, but where are you going? And maybe we can talk a little bit about taxes and how those financial statements impact your taxes. And I'll have some open time for questions because typically there's a lot of questions for CPAs. This is a unique year with the PPP loans, those loans that the government gave businesses. And how are you going to get the forgiveness? We'll talk a little bit about that. If you got that loan, I can explain you how to get a lot of that loan forgiven.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Next one is Mark Rennie. Mark, you're up.
Hey, yeah. So my name is Mark Rennie. I'm a special education teacher at Spencerport School District. I've been teaching just about every grade level possible there. Before there, I was at Mary Carroll Children's Center in the Villa of Hope. Whether it's coaching, whether it's teaching, I have 3 sons. They bring a bunch of guys over to the house all their lives. And one of the important things I've seen is the devastating effects of an absent or just a flat out bad dad on a kid's life. And my whole point of my message, which is strengthening the bond of father and son relationship, is to challenge the guys watching this show to be a better dad than what they currently are.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. Let's bring, got some feedback there. Let's bring Carl in. Oops. Carl.
Yeah. Hello. Thanks for having me. Man, that one, Mark, that one sounds great, man. I almost want to go to that one. My name is Carl Binger. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I am the owner of Luminance Mental Health Counseling, and it's been open for over 1.5 years now. And I've been counseling for probably about over 6 years now. And I just love talking about mental health and depression. And I really enjoy trying to get men to focus on their health and their mental health specifically. And so I'm honored to be a part of this talk.
Awesome. Thanks, Carl. So again, these are, and I see Kevin is there. I can't bring him in, but I'm going to, without video, let's see if we can unmute him. Kevin, are you there? Unfortunately, we can't see him or hear him. So we're going to continue on until he gets everything straightened out. But I asked these men to join me, and let's talk about Man to Man, the Candid Conversation Conference, again, which takes place on August 8th. That's a Saturday. And we invite all men to join us. These are very important topics that impact all men, all colors, all backgrounds, all races. So if you are a man 18 years and over, this conference is for you. We want to make sure that we are giving you the necessary information. It's all about encouraging, educating, and empowering. That's the goal of the conference, to encourage, to educate, and empower all men who have a willingness for whether it's personal, spiritual, or professional growth. So these men are going to spend their time and their energy and their talents talking to you on that Saturday. So let's, I see one more here, Aquino. I'm going to bring him into the stream. Aquino, thanks for joining us.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Patrick.
We are introducing ourselves, so tell us who you are and your job and what you'll be speaking on for Man to Man.
Of course. I'm again sorry for the tardiness. I'm literally trying to run through the raindrops that were falling outside, but anyways, whatever. My name is Aquino Bell. I am one of the attorneys at Brown and Hutchinson. I specialize in pretty much general civil litigation, litigation ranging from personal injury, family, business, so on and so forth, right? I do a lot of litigation for a lot of the corporate entities in the upstate New York region, likewise single persons. But in the context of our man-to-man meeting that we're here to discuss, I'll be doing the business entity formation, the pros and cons of the different types, and which ones to avoid and which ones to look for as an entrepreneur or business owner who's trying to ensure that liability is not an issue later on. Right?
Awesome. Thank you. Welcome. Let's go back to Pastor Dave. So Pastor Dave, with your topic, why did you decide to get on board with Man to Man?
A couple of reasons, Patrick. I have a passion for men's ministry, as you know, in terms of our church and our relationship there. So it's important that men understand how to relate one to another. And I think by talking about mentoring in the context of our spiritual relationship, but also professional, really enhance the conference. I love the whole statement of encourage, educate, and empower. So that the need here is to encourage men to develop two-way relationships and dialogue in order that they can benefit themselves and others. When we talk, and you've done training and I participate in your training, you've always said that feedback is a gift. Mentoring is really a structured way of having two-way dialogue and feedback and empowerment to enhance the life of one man to another. And I'm excited about being able to share some of my experiences. As you know, we have a Direction to Destiny mentoring program for young men that we've been running for the past 5 years. And I've seen great benefit for the young men's lives, but I would encourage those that are seeking mentoring relationships. It's two-way. I've benefited as well from being able to sow into the life of a young man and get in a different perspective. And I want to be able to share that with other men so they'll be encouraged to, first of all, develop a mentoring relationship, someone speaking into their lives, but also reciprocate by speaking into another young man's life, a peer or somebody younger as well. So that's why I'm excited about being a part of Man to Man.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Dave Young, what drew you to Man? This is your second year facilitating or speaking. Why did you come back this year?
Yeah, well, first of all, I had the fortune of knowing you, Patrick, for I think more than 30 years now, and you were incredible inspiration for me when we were in college, and you were a great soccer coach to my son RJ. And last year I saw just in person, how the Man to Man conference ran and the impact you were having on all the men's lives we were touching then, not only their lives, but the lives of those people touched, like a ripple, like throwing a rock into a pond. So I thought this year I'd come back again. It was a unique year with the pandemic. I think we were going to do it in person. So now we're going to try it out virtually. But I'm looking forward to it. And I think my topic is a topic that I help a lot of my clients with and the business owners with, because a lot of them are good at whatever their craft is, but a lot of them really don't have any idea about financial literacy. And they're sort of driving blind in there. Maybe they just have what's in their checking account and that's it. And they don't have any idea about all the other financial things happen around them. And a lot of people have the greatest ideas and the best of businesses, but they can crash really quickly if you don't have any financial literacy. So I wanted to share some tidbits and give some information so we can help people not only survive, but thrive, especially in these times of COVID.
Good. Thank you. And Dave talking about business. Let's jump down to Aquino, because he's also, so there are 4 main focuses of Man to Man, or 4 main pillars. There's business, there's relationships, there's health and wellness, and there's spirituality. So 4 main pillars, and off of each pillar, there's specific workshops, 3 workshops per pillar. So let's jump down to Aquino. Aquino, why did you decide to get on board this year for Man to Man?
Well, I mean, a number of reasons, right? But because for purpose of brevity, I'm just going to bring them down to 3, right? One is understanding just generally as an attorney, there are a lot of people out there with great ideas about doing business, right? But then there is the right way to do it, and then there's a wrong way to do it, right? And if it's a forum where I believe it allows individuals like ourselves to pass knowledge on, critical pieces of information that people on their journey, their life development and their spiritual development, it's all tied together, right? So if you can, give some advice to somebody that's looking for it, right? Or even they might not necessarily know that they're looking for it, but it just happens upon them, like in often the case, that's a good thing. The other aspect of it is, just the opportunity, like the title says, Man to Man, right? The ability to bond, let other people know that you're your brother. And that transcends not only just the day-to-day, but the spiritual context. You're connecting with other individuals on a level that allows them to communicate back to you, open type of dialogue type of situation, right? Where they can, feel comfortable. And again, for some men, it's like we're all men, it's kind of hard to say you're vulnerable. I mean, most oftentimes people find me when they're vulnerable because people don't talk to me unless they're having a bad day or a bad week or a bad month, right? That's kind of how it works. But, it's to give people that opportunity to say, the proverbial let your hair down. There are other people who either are in the same boat as you are, so you're not the only one swimming out there because no man is an island, right? And it's the opportunity to connect with people on that level. And the other part is being new to Rochester, it's an opportunity to connect. And Patrick, was so good enough to connect with me and introduce me to this forum and introduce me to I'm talking to four new people, right? The 6 of us on the screen, right? 4 new people I've never met before, right? And I'm sure everybody has their own unique gifts, talents, and words of advice and whatnot that you can learn. And it's always a great thing to know people, right? Especially COVID. Everybody's like stuck in their house, right?
That's good. That's good. And that's one aspect that we didn't mention, or it should be emphasized even more, is the aspect of networking with each other, because sometimes men tend to live isolated on an isolated island all by themselves. But this is an opportunity for men, not just in Rochester, but across the country and across the world, to network with other men and see what they're going through. So sometimes we feel that we're going through the same thing, or it's only us. Well, no.
I think Patrick froze there.
Yeah.
I think so.
5G is coming, gents.
Yes.
It's on its way.
Yes, it is. Well, I guess as we're waiting for Patrick to join, Carl, can you tell why you're excited about being a part of the Man-to-Man conference until he joins back here?
Absolutely. Good point. So for me, I kind of echo the same thing as Aquino is, I think connecting with men, is just something that drew me, serving the community, being a part of the community, and teaching and giving knowledge that, I have and obtained, and also learning from the individuals in the community as well. So connecting, serving the community. And I think what's going to go well with this talk that I do is being very vulnerable, because I experienced depression about over 10 years ago. And I know what that experience was like. And I'm going to be very transparent about it during my talk. And so I'm hoping that that'll open the door for a lot of men to realize that, hey, it's okay if you're suffering, and it's okay to get help, and it's okay to talk to someone that you trust and to get the help that you need. Because it's one thing to be an island to yourself, but it's a whole nother thing to be suffering on that island by yourself.
Right,
so,
That's fantastic. I'm looking forward to that conversation myself, because about 10 years ago, I had that same challenge in terms of depression, and I was able to get through that because I was able to express that I was hurting. So thank you for bringing that to the forum. Mark, why have you chosen to join Man-to-Man? We don't have you unmuted, unfortunately. I think Patrick has that power, I believe. I don't think you can.
Good now?
There you go. You're good.
Good. Yeah.
Okay, so before I even begin, I'm just going to say, Dave, I love what you had shared about what you're going to be talking about with mentoring. I'd like to actually touch base with you maybe before the conference, so I get a little bit of information, because that's even a little bit of the heart that I have, and part of the end of my message will be actually as well. So that's great. But as far as why I got involved, guys, I don't know if your wife would say the same thing, but my wife has said for years that she never had to, or that she had to train me to be a good husband, but she's never had to train me to be a good father. And it's something that's just been in me ever since I was a child. I had the privilege of having 2 dads. I had, if you think about that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I had rich dad who had poor fathering skills, and I had poor dad who had awesome fathering skills. And so it's just something it's part of me about being a dad. It's my heart. It's my life. It's everything that I do, whether it's a teacher, coach, and my kids' friends coming over here. I just it's a passion I have that I have to share with the men that are going to be in this conference, and challenge them to rise up and be a better dad. No matter where you are, if you're already a great dad, I want to challenge you to be an even better dad. If you're a dad who kind of struggles, man, I want to hit you up with some tools that you can take away to become an even better dad. That's my heart.
That's fantastic. And I appreciate and we'll make sure that we connect, because when Patrick talked about the networking aspect, that's vital. So I'll make sure that we connect and talk about mentoring. Plus, I know I can share and glean from you, from the sounds of your relationship with as a father and on those that you've been educating for so long of a time, you have a strong perspective and a good perspective to share. So I'm looking forward to that. I know that Patrick also wanted us to talk about why should men attend the man-to-man conference? What's the value? What's the benefit for them in doing so? Dave, what's your perspective on why men should attend this conference? Even though it's virtual, what's the power of a man-to-man conference?
So for me, I think it's going to be, it might be even better being virtual, because that means I think we'll have a much larger audience, or a potential for a much larger audience. And there's going to be a lot of people who can learn a lot of things. I like how we have the pillars of business and relationships, health, and spiritual. Those are the foundations of really all of our existence. You know, it all starts, you know, you have to have a firm belief in the Lord as Jesus as your Savior, and all these other things kind of fall into that. I mean, you can have a good business, but if you don't have the rest of those things, then you really don't have anything. So you really have to have all of those things. And I think together, we're going to come together and learn from each other. I know a lot of the folks on here, you know, have a lot to offer. I've known Patrick for many, many years, and he's always been harping on a lot of that. Even for soccer, I learned it was a lot more. My kid learned a lot more than soccer. He learned a lot more about, you know, consequences and putting hard work in, and how to become a good young man and contributing to society. So I think just coming together, learning from each other, and networking and learning every day, you can learn something new. So I'm looking forward to going to learn from everybody else here, and I'm hoping I can help others learn from some of the knowledge I gained being a CPA for many years.
Fantastic. We see we have our moderator and our leader back in Patrick. So we're just going around and saying, why is it important for the men to attend man-to-man conference? And Dave gave a fantastic perspective there in terms of the 4 pillars and the benefit they'll have to be well-rounded and balanced. So
Awesome.
Back in your hands.
No, it's just, hey, these things happen, but that's why it's leaders like yourself and all these men that's on the call, that when things drop out, that you pick it up, right?
That's right.
You learn that when things goes wrong, you just keep moving.
That's right.
You can't stop because life goes on. So let's continue in that vein, guys, in terms of how do you think the men can benefit from attending the conference?
I'll pick up from where Dave left off. Us
Sure.
Dave have to stick together here. So again, he talked about being well balanced. When you think about the man-to-man conference, for me, I look at words. The word "to" is, as Aquino talked about, the bond or the relationship man-to-man. And every man has an opportunity to enhance the relationships that they have, whether it's within their household, within their profession, within their neighborhood community, and also within their spiritual form as well. And this will allow them to do that in a healthy, balanced way. They'll get different perspectives. What I get excited about is the diversity that we see on this call and the diversity we saw at the conference last year. You'll be able to get different perspectives, so it'll enhance your life. And when it enhances your life, it'll enhance those around you as well. So that's why I think all men should be looking forward to participating in this conference and registering even right now, because it'll be a great value add for them and their families. And I'm excited. And I know I'm going to receive a benefit. Carl's topic is going to benefit me. Hopefully I'll be able to listen. I know Dave's topic can benefit me. Mark, we're going to develop a relationship, and Aquino's topic can benefit me. So I'm looking to benefit myself.
Awesome. Good. And I had an opportunity to talk with Carl, I think on Saturday. But Carl has an interesting story, because his topic is something that he had lived and so continued to live. So Carl, do you want to expand on your topic a little bit and how personal it is to you?
I think for me, because it hit me on such a mental health level as well as a spiritual level, that it was just a very monumental moment for me. And it was just a very awful time, you know, where I got to a point to where I was starting to become suicidal. And so I think in my case, what I like to try to encourage people with, because I still take medications for my depression, And I've been on the same 2 medications for, over 10 years now. And so the reason I share that is because I want people to be comfortable with taking medications if they have to take medications. And I usually say, don't go to meds right away. Like, try other things first, natural things that could possibly help you. But I also say, hey, don't be afraid of the stigma, and don't, feel like you're less of a person if you have to take medication. People take medications all the time, and sometimes they can be really helpful for you. So for me, that's a continual thing. I don't currently suffer from depression because the medications have helped me, but I try to, tell people and try to normalize some of these things so people aren't feeling like alone. And, I feel, for me, coming to the conference and having men come to the conference, I think, like some of the men have already mentioned, there's a balance that needs to be had in these other areas, all of these areas of our lives, whether it's spirituality, relationships, business. But I also think there needs to be a balance with our mental health, our emotional health, and our spiritual health. So within us, we need that balance as well, And so I think for men coming to this conference, I think trying to get that balance on the inside as well, externally and internally,
Thanks, Carl. And let's talk with Mark. Mark, let's talk about you. You have a pretty powerful topic, and having sons of your own, and dealing as a teacher. Let's explore that a little bit and give a sneak peek as to what you'll be covering.
Yeah, so I kind of think about fathering as there's a term in sailing called sailing into the wind, where you think of a sailboat, you think of usually the wind is at the back of the sailboat and it's just sailing beautifully, nice and easy. But oftentimes when you're out in the sailboat, you actually have to go against the wind, and that's like the most challenging time that there is possible. And there's that term called sailing into the wind, where you actually head into the wind, the difficult times, and you are able to move forward. It's kind of a special thing. And so I look at fathering as fathering into the wind, where as a parent, there's a lot of wind out there that is pushing against your son and trying to steer them in all kinds of crazy directions. And as a father, it's our God-given assignment, if you will, to help them steer into the wind and be able to fight through life's difficulties and the things that they go through. So I'm going to be giving a bunch of different strategies about how you can connect with your son and how you can build those relationships with them and get emotional with them and share life with them and really see them grow into the young man, the man that you want them to be in life. So that's a little bit of what this will be about.
So thanks, Mark. Now, this is not just about fathers. Your piece is just not just about fathers with sons, but also fathers who has daughters. So it's just in general of, right, because some men may say, well, I don't want to go, because with men, as you know, we can come up with any excuse not to do something. Right? So we don't want to take away that we don't want to give them that excuse not to show up, because they may say that, well, I don't have any sons, or so I don't want to go to this, because they're going to be talking about father and son. But father and sons are important, but you're also going to be talking about father and daughters as well, right?
Yeah, I can tell you everything I'm going to be talking about, all the different strategies and tools that I'm hoping to equip the fathers with, is whether you have a son or daughter, they're applicable to either, and really hoping that they really challenge dads to just step up and be a better dad than they are.
Awesome. Good. So for those that would like to, well, not those that would like, we encourage everyone to register if you have not yet. It's right on the screen. You can go to thecandidconversations.com/register. This is right there. You don't have an excuse. You just got to do it. This is one of those things where, and Carl and I talked about this on Saturday. Men are good with spending sometimes the things that we want to spend on, right? We go out, we buy a large screen TV, we may buy a $300-400 pair of sneakers, we may buy $100 t-shirt, but when it comes to investing in ourselves, we don't do that. We spend, but we don't invest. And Dave, you know about this. There's a difference between spending and investing. Right? Spend,
right.
you don't get anything back. Invest, you do what, Dave?
You'll get a return.
There you go. Right? So as a man, we're asking you to invest in yourself. Ladies, your spouse, whether you're married, your boyfriend, your brother, your son, ladies, make sure that the significant man in your life invest in themselves. And if they don't want to, you invest in them and push them to go. Because it's that important. It's that important. Let's kind of, we're going over the time. Let's kind of wrap it up. But give me your parting words, if you can, as to what's next. And we talked about why men should come. We talked about why you are doing it. But let's talk about, give us your summary and your parting words as it relates to Man, the Candid Conversation Conference. Would like to go first? Let's go with Pastor Dave again.
Thanks, Patrick. I say, guys, in parting words, again, this is part of the relationship and spiritual appeal that I'll speak to in terms of mentoring. In the Bible, the wisest man in the world, King Solomon, said this: as iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. The image of his friend builds into the life of a friend. If you want someone to build into your life, you have to build into the life of others. So I encourage you, participate in this conference, Man to Man. It provides a forum and environment that you can actually build one another so you can grow and maximize your potential. And I'll close with this. We learn to go from being dependent on our parents to becoming independent as men on our own, with our own careers and vocations, etc. Most men get stuck there. That's not the highest level of relationship. Interdependence is the highest level. We start working one with another. This Man-to-Man conference allows us to be interdependent, and I'll talk about that in the mentoring. So sign up, register. I'm excited to hear from these other men and brothers in Christ as well. So I'm excited, and thank you for the time, Patrick.
Great. Dave?
A lot of people can work in their business, but this is working on your business, at least in my topic. You know, nobody here would get in their car and drive if you couldn't read the dashboard. It'd be crazy. You don't know how fast you're going. You don't have any blinkers, any signals. But, a lot of people start a business that way. I'm going to show people how to have some financial literacy. I mean, people can read, but do they know what they're reading, when it comes to financial statements? So my goal is to help people to work on their business. A lot of them have that craft, whatever they're doing, but I want them to know what these numbers mean and how to interpret them and how to use them, not only looking backwards, but looking forwards, and be able to have some idea of where they're going by building a dashboard.
Awesome. Thank you, Dave. Okino?
All right. Well, I'll say this is a conference that nobody wants to miss. In addition to the spiritual element there and the opportunity to bond, I think, as Dave said earlier, you're getting the nuts and bolts of how to put a business together. Here you have an attorney that's willing, able, and capable of telling you the do's and the don'ts and the will and the won'ts, right? So that you can start your business in a way that you can thrive, succeed, and don't have to end up seeing a Grim Reaper at the end of the day, or at least minimize that effect, right? So that's the practical aspect of it. It's a great opportunity to connect with all these fabulous presenters. It's also a great opportunity to grow and develop and connect. And we will be there, and we'll be happy to speak to any and all that come.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go to next is Carl.
Yes. So my parting words would be, I think just connecting with all the men will be great, networking and gaining some wisdom and knowledge from each other for me, it's going to be very open. I'm going to share my testimony, my stories. I'm going to have Q&A time. I'm going to just try to pull the guys in as much as possible and be as interactive as possible. And being a therapist, I have a way of breaking the ice very gently, so no one needs to be terrified or anything like that. I'm not going to psychologize you or anything. I'm going to be very vulnerable and transparent in hopes of that, being a way, a reciprocation back. And if, men aren't comfortable with that, there's not going to be any force or anything like that. It'll just be, hey, this is an open conversation. If you have questions, ask them at any point, and let's keep this, fun, educational, and a time where we can all grow and learn from each other.
Awesome. Thank you. Mark?
Yeah, so I'm the teacher here, so I'm gonna end this way. So my two high school sons and my sophomore college son spent the last 4 months remote learning and got a whole lot out of it because of the desire to better themselves educationally. And maybe some of them not so much bettering themselves as much as the other ones. I'll be honest with that. But all three of them, they wanted to better themselves. So my parting words to the guys watching this is, if you want to better yourself, live class, whether it's a remote class, whatever it is, guys, we're doing this remotely, and it's a great opportunity, just like your kids had to learn and better yourself. So let's do that.
Awesome. Thank you. And the neat thing about it is, as we wind down, is that you don't have to travel. You don't have to come out in terms of fear. You can stay home. You can be dressed in your shorts and your t-shirt. You can be at home and still get the knowledge because it's 100% virtual. And we have some great swag, some great gifts for those that register. In addition to the knowledge, in addition to the networking, there's some cool swag that if you register will be shipped directly to your house. So that's a gift from us to you. So register. What's the reason that you're not, right? So again, men is here, thecandidconversations.com/register. Go there, register, invest in yourself. Take it from where you are to where you want to be and where you should be, because the information that is given is being shared by these men. And this is just a small group of the speakers. We have some others that will be giving information as well and sharing with all of you. So guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I thank you for the giving of your time and the sharing of your time to other men. So thank you so very much. I want to thank everyone that's watching. You continue to share and invite us into your home. So whether you're watching it live or on replay, send us some comments, right? In the next couple of weeks, we'll continue some more about man-to-man and start to unveil and give you some other sneak peeks as to what's to come. So thank you very much. Have a great night. As we always say, next week, we will see you. May God continue to bless you and your family. Goodbye now.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.